Hey, you guys, it's Lynn. I have Tracy, Stancy, and Leah here, and we have another God Says. I'm sorry that we haven't been around in the last couple of weeks, but it's been basically pretty insane over here. Whoa, we gotta kill this. Oh, good Lord. I have my YouTube open. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, we have a new God Says. Stancy got it this morning. We have been asking a lot of questions lately. There's a lot been going on in the twin journey, and I love this because it's perfectly timed. And so we want to share this today, and we want to talk about the work, but we are going to dip right into it. Do you guys have anything you need to say before we jump in?
Nope. Just jump right in.
Awesome.
Nope. Go ahead.
Here we go. Okay. Whoops. I got to share. I haven't done this in so long. I forgot how. Hold on just a second. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I got to share my screen. All right. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so this was from this morning, and God is talking about testing of endurance for all twins. A lot of this stuff you're going to hear, there's a repeat because he's got a common theme going. You're gonna hear it. This one isn't very stern. He's basically just explaining things. We've had a lot of questions about movement. The last video that we did was about the abyss, and there's been a lot of shifting since then. So, and predictably, because we are in spiritual war, and when we do something, dark does something in return. So, but everything looks to be moving forward like it's supposed to. It's just we got to ebb and flow with the journey. So that being said, here's what God has to say this morning. Testing is where you are placed these days and moving forth. Lovely. These are days where all my chosen, my army, will be tested in all things within themselves, within their twinships, and how to navigate this in a manner I wish to see. I love that he says this because this is not up to us. As always, you guys know I'm going to dissect the shit out of this one. This one is pretty straightforward, so I probably won't have to do that much of this. But there's certain things I do want to highlight because the community is still missing a huge majority of a lot of this stuff. So I do want to highlight it for new people. And because if he says the same thing 85 times in a row, it's because he means it and he wants us to pay attention. So that being said, we are having the shit tested out of us right now. Meaning, as he said before, in several of these recently, he's talking about people being replaced. He's going to talk about that throughout this, God says right now. But there's a lot of people that are having final tests. It's like, are you going to get through this? You have had this lesson enough times in a row to know that this is what you need to be focusing on. And a lot of people are going to be, it's kind of like a do or die. We are running out of time. We are moving into the go sequence. And so basically what he's saying is, if you are struggling with something, don't look at it as it's a difficulty. What he wants us to do is go, okay, what do I got to do to fix this or to master it? It's either a lesson or it's a test. We have to pass it, or we need to learn how to solve it or get through it. So if you look at everything from a solution-driven standpoint, you're going to be just fine. Okay. And then also he's saying, tested within your twinship, and a lot of these things we're going to talk about in a little bit. We are going to do an assessment afterwards. I know you guys weren't expecting this, but we did it last week in the master course, and we're going to do it today so that you know all of these critical points that he's talking about. So we're going to talk about that afterwards. Hold on, actually. Just a sec. Yeah, just in case people come in, then you guys know we are going to do this afterwards. Okay. He's saying each of you have a role to play within the spiritual war. There are many different types of angels. There are many different types of roles. Not everyone has the same one. I know that within there's a section of the hierarchy when there's 3 different teams that we're working with in the master course. And one of these has like 12 pairs in it. And literally each person has a different role. They all have to work together like a switch swatch. But he's basically saying that for those of you that are like, this isn't Dungeons and Dragons, or we don't really have to do anything but love our twin and we're supposed to go into union. That's total crap. If that's the mentality you have, you really need to stop and think about what the heck we're supposed to be doing here. Because if God was supposed to be doing this himself, then he wouldn't need us. We are all here to do a job and we have responsibilities. And we will be held accountable for them. So it's up to us to explore that and learn what our role is in this. I'm not saying everybody has to know that 100% yet, but people are moving into that, and that's the goal. So there's that. Elevation of that role and mission will only come from a place of mastery with yourselves at the level I have preordained prior to you coming here. I have said this once before, so take heed of this warning. He's calling it a warning because he wants us to pay attention. This is non-negotiable right here. He's basically saying that we need to be in a place of mastery first before we are going to be moving deeper into our mission roles. A lot of people are like, well, I don't know what I'm doing in mission. Well, your mission right now, if you don't know what your mission is you have to be mastered before we get handed our role all the way. You may be getting little bits and pieces of it. You may be kind of winding through little, you're receiving tools or you're working through energy things, or you've got some kind of idea of what you're doing on a 3D. But without mastery and without being at 100% and doing all of the work, you're not going to move into your role at all. So mastery needs to be your number one priority. And then, like he's saying, elevation of that role and mission will only come from a place of mastery at the level I have preordained prior to you coming here. And each person has to be in a different place depending on what their role is. So he's talking about his idea of mastery for you. And we're going to talk about, again, an outline of what that looks like on a general level. But there are certain things that all twins need to be mastered in. But then you also will have your unique ones based on your role. Like I fight dark, I get the message out. I need to know everything about fighting dark. And that's basically what I've been doing for the last 6 years. So, but that's my thing, not yours. You might have something different. I have said this once before, so take heed. Just keep that in mind. Your human mind thinks this is a game and only wants from it what makes you feel joyful in placing romanticism into all parts of it. We're going to repeat that in a minute, because if you look in the community, that's all you're seeing is it's a big shit show of twins are supposed to come into union, and that's really not what we're doing here. That's not what this is. So if that's what you're focusing on, you're missing the whole picture. He says, listen as I explain to you all once again. Union will not come to you if you do not do the work I intend for you to do in all its entirety. This I warn you and this I tell you one last time. He has been droning on and on and on for years with the same thing, is that you've got to do the work. The work does not mean you read tarot cards all day and wonder what your twin is doing. This has nothing to do with it. We have other things that we're supposed to be mastering because we have actual job to do. So for those of us, or those of you, or those out there that are listening to this, if you feel like this is a game of timing and it's divine timing where God's going to bring you your twin when you deserve it or when everybody else does, that's not how this works. So stay tuned, because we are going to talk about what's required of us. But the romanticism is basically, yes, we are supposed to love our twin unconditionally in every given moment. Absolutely. But the romanticism of it is something that is earned. It's icing on the cake, and you must bake the cake before you get the icing. That's what I'm saying. And that's what he's saying here. Learn your mastery with those that have mastered this already. Does this not make any true sense to you, all that question this? There are only a few elites that have been positioned specifically to play this role. He's talking about helping others master that have already mastered. There are no other teachers or ones that call themselves, quote, leaders in this journey. And he's speaking about the woo-woo community and tarot card readers. Outside my army that can teach and train my army, say for a handful of members, meaning very few. If this were so, you would all be standing at the finish line. I assure you, most are not yet seen here. He's talking about at the finish line. This is by their own hand, not by mine. So this goes right back to the paragraph before where he basically is saying, if you're only focusing on your union and tarot cards and what your twin's doing and you're being nosy and you're not mastering all of this stuff, or if you're out there in the community and you're listening to leaders that don't even really understand the true connection, or they're not even trying to determine who they're teaching. Like, you should be asking, whoever's leading you, you should be asking the questions, these really, really hard questions that shouldn't be hard for them. It should be all of the questions about mastery. They should understand the twin connection inside and out. And it's not basically, do you feel like you're a twin? They should be screening people that come through based on making sure that you're in the right soul path. There's so many things that these people should be doing, and it's not happening out there, I can tell you. So be really mindful about paying attention to who you're listening to, because basically he's saying, if they don't understand the army, they can't be teaching it. So we are supposed to be mastered in the ways that we're going to need to be a part of this army. And asking hard questions should be something that is a given when you're paying attention to who you're listening to. When he's saying, if this were so, you'd all be standing at the finish line. I do want to throw something out there, because this whole community talks about, like, I was on Instagram today and it really pissed me off. I hate this shit, because there's all these people out there that I just had a baby and with my twin flame. I'm like, bullshit, you didn't, because I can tell just by the way you're talking that you're not even, twins are very, very rare. We've got so many people out there, like these celebrities that think that they met somebody that they're in love with, or they've got this obsession with, and they're twin flame. They're not doing any of the work. And they're basically out there saying that they're in union, and that's not the case. True twins, very, very few of them are in union right now. Union meaning and they're actually together in a very formally committed relationship. That is not what's going on. I'm not saying that that's not happening. I'm saying that there is a timeline for this stuff, and all twins are in the same place. We are moving into a sequence. We're moving into go time, but stop paying attention to the shit in the community that tells you that these twins are together. There's a very, very small percentage, like maybe 1% of twins that are actually together. And it is only based on their location. And that is it. Some of them aren't even mastered in their stuff yet, but they are together because they have to hold down a very densely negative energy at the location where they are. That's it. So most of the people out there are not. So when he's saying, if this were so, you would all be standing at the finish line, but most of the people out there that say that they are at the finish line, they are really not twins. So pay attention to your discernment on that. For my elite that feel misplaced and stuck in your space, know this: there are lessons to be learned here for each of you. It seems the attributes patience and tolerance is difficult for many, including all my chosen. That would be one for me. So any difficulties that you're feeling, I mean, it could be literally anything. It could be your work is driving you insane. You're having, things are falling through the cracks. I mean, it could be minor stuff. All of this stuff is orchestrated. All of our pacing is orchestrated. Everything that's happening to you is orchestrated. So if you're having a difficulty, see that as a lesson. Again, he's saying that everything could potentially be a lesson to be learned here for each of you. So if you are having trouble with a karmic, maybe you need to stand up for yourself, put your foot down. If you are getting impatient or intolerant with something, then you need to move into patience and unconditional love. But in each opportunity for difficulty, there's an opportunity for mastery, lesson learning, and success. Ask yourself what it is and why you are so impatient and intolerant of such things. Is it all because of frustration and your doubts within me to be able to bring forth what you wish for the most in your heart, in your mind, in your soul? Tell me, have you not come thus far in your present and made such progress towards your own finish line? Basically, what he's saying is, if you know that you are kicking ass in this journey, you're doing all your work, you're committed, you're helping your twin, you're 100% loving, you're doing everything that you possibly can to master every critical area of this journey, and you have something that's frustrating or doubts, he's basically saying, do you not trust me? And do you not trust your own progress and your own commitment level enough to realize that you are right where you need to be? You are nearing the finish line. So don't look at this as doubt. Look at it as you're right where you need to be, and that this is trust in God that this is orchestrated the way it needs to be. Do you think this is but your only destination I have preordained for you all? If your answer is one of only what you wish for to happen now in only your space, then you are truly missing the whole truth of why you are here. This isn't about us. This isn't about what's going on in my journey, what's going on with my twin. When is this union thing supposed to happen? This is all we ever hear about in the community. This is not what we're doing here. We have a really, really important job to do. We all have different ways of doing it. But what he's saying is we have to look at the big picture and understand that we have responsibilities because we need to be here for a reason. Every single one of us is here for a reason. So if we're only looking at this as just our, this romantic journey, then you're missing the whole point. He said, purge this lack mindset now, and you will be released from all your frustrations that do not serve you nor your purpose. For those that are responsible of many will be challenged in the most high levels of detachment of all things. Know that you are more capable of such a manner. This is why you were chosen. He's also saying, and he has always said, I will never give you more than you can handle. However, for those that are leading, he gives you, there's a lot of times when you'll have these challenges and you're like, why do I have to go through this? Because you have to learn how to master going through that challenge in order to be able to teach other people that you're going to be encountering through orchestration of your job that is going to be helpful on a wider scale. Like for example, there's two people in the master course that have been going through the most horrific shit with their twins. And it's like, you got to feel for them because it's like, they're so mastered in it that they're helping their twins through it. And their level of unconditional love is just so freaking impressive. I constantly am talking about these people as like they should be the poster children for the twin journey because they're rocking the shit despite the stuff that's being handed to their twins and to themselves. And turns out that as they're snapping into their spots, it's like, okay, you went through all this for a reason because there's so many people that you are going to be able to help with this. And now you know exactly, you've endured it yourself. So you're going to be in the perfect position to be able to help all of these people get through this trauma that nobody else would have been able to help them with. So it's all orchestrated. He says, I have mentioned I will do what must be done and replace all of you who do not take heed now. Please take him seriously. He's not joking. I'm going to repeat this. I know you guys don't like this threat, but basically, I want to talk about two things really here. I'm going to read this whole paragraph again, and then there's two things we have to talk about. Remind me if I forget, because I'm kind of scatterbrained. Free will is a huge part of this. But he's saying, days are numbered for some. This is my plan, and timing of all things is placed with only me. Each chosen have a specific role and mission that will benefit my army in the way it must. Learn to adapt at any time. Learn to listen to me at all times, for I know what is ahead. Or do you think you are better at playing this game? Every single thing that God does is orchestrated. Even the walk-ins, all of them were orchestrated. I've even seen the Antichrist get in God's face and go, well, it's all right that I mess with incoming twins and the cords because that's a loophole. And God said that was my loophole. In other words, he was explaining to us this day, this was like 3 years ago. He basically was explaining that, I probably shouldn't even mention this. Anyway, everything is orchestrated. He knows everything that is going to happen with every single twin pair. So a lot of literally, I just had a validation with somebody today that reached out to me, a week or two ago. She literally moved into her twinship in October, and she has every single one of the critical areas. She is addressing every single one of them. She just showed up, and I was like, wow, when God says that these walk-ins are showing up and they're just taking over, they're right where they need to be. They've already mastered a lot of this stuff. They just need a little help knowing what the work is. This person that just showed up a week or two ago was a perfect example of this. So if you don't think this is happening, I can tell you it's definitely happening. And the walk-ins have always done that. They show up and they are at the same place as all of the rest of the twins. We're all going around the same corner. So if you think that you have time, or if you think, well, I don't really want to be obsessed with my twinship right now. Well, first of all, this isn't an obsession. This is a role. This is a responsibility. And if you're not taking it seriously, then God's basically saying, then that is your free will to basically opt out of your responsibility. It's almost like you get hired for a job, but if you don't do your job because you sit around and play on Facebook all day long or Instagram, you're going to get fired from your job. And he's going to say, well, it's your free will to not have done your job. That's why you got fired. This is the same free will that he's giving all twins. Either do your job, or I will move you out of the way so that someone else will do their job. He's not joking around. I've seen so many twins go off path that it's just ridiculous. I'm not saying use this as a threat. I'm saying this hopefully will motivate some of you to get off your butts and realize that we don't have time to screw around. So I'm going to go through this really quick again. He said, I have mentioned I will do what must be done and replace all of you who do not take heed now. That is happening. Days are numbered for some, which means some are on the fence. This could be a matter of he's going to give you a test. He's going to poke you and see if you're mastered. He's going to make it difficult for you and see if you give up. Or he's going to give you an opportunity to learn something and dive into it. Are you going to take it, or are you just going to sit back? So there's a lot of do or dies going on right now. He's saying this is my plan, and timing of all things is placed with only me. Everything in the twin journey is paced by God. Even we have people in the masterclass that some have no 3D at all. Some have a lot of 3D, different levels of mastery. We've got the masters from the first round that are in this. We've got like 21 people in the master course now. We've got a bunch of new people that just came in, and everybody's kind of in a different spot, but still, even the new people are mastered to a certain level because the commitment is there, and it's really not that hard to catch up on this stuff. But if you look at them, they're all still pacing at the same pace to be at the same place when they need to be. So don't feel like you're behind unless you have not been embracing any of this. If you haven't been embracing any of it, I would jump on board quick. He's saying each chosen have a specific role and mission that will benefit my army in the way it must. An example of this is that group of 12 in mission. Every single one of them has a different role, but they all complement each other and assist each other to make up one whole body. It's really, really impressive. It's like every person is a different has a different function in the watch, but it all makes it keep the same time. It's really beautiful how this works. Everybody has their own strengths, and everybody's bringing them to the table. So this is why it's so important. Everybody must learn their mission. They must understand how to move into the commitment of this, because without you, then there's going to be a gap. We can't have gaps. We all have to be doing our part. He's saying learn to adapt at any time. The journey ebbs and flows. Learn to listen to me at all times, for I know what is ahead. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Or do you think you're better at playing this game? Only God knows what's going on. He's saying, those that I speak to and know that you hear me and my words, you still doubt yourself. So we're going to do a little bit. I think we're going to do a video in the next couple days on, tomorrow's busy. We have two group meetings. We have the masterclass and the hardcore group, but probably Friday. In fact, let's do it Friday. I'll put it out. Maybe we'll do it Friday. Hopefully Friday. Let's say that. Let's do a video on discernment so that you know who you're hearing. We can do a quick one about that, how to filter out who you're getting, who you're not. Because he's saying even those that know God and the holy team, hear him and his words, he's like, you still doubt yourself. So he's wanting you to have faith and confidence in your abilities, and you got to work it like a muscle. He said, learn to listen attentively. This task is not a difficult one, but those that know they hear me and shy away and disregard what is said will only lose progress and hinder only themselves. Ask yourself when you hear me, ask for your holy truths, and it will come swiftly, I say to you. And that's one of the things. Anytime that you're asking for input or guidance from God or holy team, always, always only allow 100% holy truth. That's what he's basically saying. We got to learn that discernment. But once you do and you understand God's signature, it's really simple. You'll just be able to have him on speed dial, which is it's the whole point. He's saying, is what you are receiving to benefit in you in a way that brings growth and expansion, or does it bring destruction in all that is good? Ask me and I will lead you, but you must ask at once for the guidance you seek, or it will never come to you. We've got to ask for guidance. God says all the time, stop praying to me. And he's not saying stop praying to him. Like, for people that pray to him, please pray to him. Like, this has been misconstrued before. Definitely pray to God. But if what he wants you to do is embrace the actual direct one-on-one connection, where what he's saying about prayer is if he wants you to stretch and hear him. He says, if you're only praying to me, then you're missing the whole part is hearing him. So he's saying, ask me, I will lead you, but you must ask at once for the guidance you seek, or it will never come to you. You've got to ask Holy Father God for guidance. Literally all day long, I'm constantly going, what do I need to do now? Like, I go through my entire day, because I know that if like he's saying, you've got to ask, what am I supposed to be doing and how am I supposed to be doing it? Because if you're just going off the cuff, if you're just going off your 3D wants, or you're just moving through what logically makes sense, you might be missing the mark, because God might want you to be doing something in a different way that's going to actually push you further into your path. And if you're not hearing that, you're going to miss it. A lot of times we could be taking a way better path, something that could bring us more growth or more expansion, but we're not getting that guidance, so that we don't even know that path exists. So we're just trotting down the same 3D path that's taking us in circles. Is kind of what he's talking about. In order to get deeper into the path, he's going to have to point the way. So we've got to ask for that. Not only that, anytime you work with Holy Father God or any of your holy angels, you have to ask them for help. They're not going to just hand it to you. They have to have permission to give it to you. So if you're sitting there going, why aren't they helping me? Well, are you asking? We have to ask them. And then once you do, watch out, because they're going to come in and really do things efficiently. He's saying, know that I am here always awaiting, and wish you to only succeed in all you do. That is only for your best and highest good at all times. If you are truly asking God in 100% holy truth, and then you're validating what you're getting, and you move into exactly what he tells you to do, it's only going to be in your best and highest good at all times. And just really quick, one of the ways that I've told people before to know who you're hearing and what you're getting is if it's anything other than 100% like towards your best and highest good, if it's anything other than 100% unconditionally loving towards you and your twin, it's not your holy team. It's the easiest way to filter it out. Is it for you or against you? Is it for you or your twinship, or is it against you? If it's against you and it's not helping you, it's definitely not team. And then you can validate from there. Find your strength within me and all will be well. Believe in me and you shall receive me. When he's saying find your strength within me and all will be well, I cannot tell you how profound that is, because he can literally take somebody that, he shows me this all the time. Like when I got attacked, I got like violently, like I got attacked in a very deadly way. And he's constantly saying, but I walked you through that. I believed in him. I said, okay, you're going to have to fix this because I'm about to die. You said you wanted me here for a reason. You're going to have to fix this in ASAP. And then I just moved through whatever I was led to do, and it saved my life. And it's like, he's constantly using that example, saying, if you basically hand me your strength and surrender to me and what I need for you, everything will be fine. If I can save you in that scenario, I can save you in anything. So he's saying, believe in me and you shall receive me. And that is 100% truth. He says, this is my truth. Gather together, my chosen, for the time is near. And he couldn't be more true, because it definitely is. It's go time. So, do you guys have anything to add while I check the comments real quick?
I really don't. I think it's pretty straightforward.
Okay. Yeah, this one was, it's pretty point blank. Chrissy's saying hello. Chrissy's like, if he isn't, correct if Holy Father God isn't involved in my days, it is not beneficial at all. Yeah. I learned a long time ago because I've always followed God and Jesus. Like they basically raised me because my parents didn't. I have always noticed that when I felt like my life was off track, I would stop and go, what the hell is going on? It was like, oh, I'm not following God. And then the minute I was like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? It literally would pull me back onto the path. I never even really understood what that meant way back in the day, but God really does work this way. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, everything will be beautiful. Like his abundance means you're taken care of. He will take care of everything you need. If you are moving away from your path, or you're doing something that's 3D based or logically minded and not from your heart, if you are moving towards what you think you need, meaning, okay, say you want to switch jobs, you're going to get a hell of a lot more money in this job. However, that means that you're going to have to give up a lot of your time that this job allows you to move towards your purpose. He will reward you. I've seen him do this. If you decide against the money so that you could spend more time staying where you're at to work on your purpose that he has aligned for you, I've seen him like massively reward people for that, like within days. It always works this way. And I always know that if I'm told to get a message out and I don't get the message out, my whole world will fall apart. So if God tells me to do something, I just do it. I don't even question it. It's like, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing it. So I recommend that you filter everything through, should I be doing this? Should I not be doing this? What does God really want me to be doing? And then learn how to communicate with him one-on-one so that you get that solid guidance. It's not signs, synchronicities. Dark can throw signs and synchronicities all day long. Don't pay attention to those. We're being asked to embrace the actual connection. It's almost like when you connect with your twin on a soul level. If you can do it with your twin, you can do it with God. So there's that. So yeah, Chrissy, I get where you're coming from. Like, I know that if my world starts getting all wonky, it's like, I got to stop and go, okay, did I miss something? Did I do something wrong? Did I forget to do something I was asked to do? Am I failing something at mission or haven't done that yet? I literally will stop and go and ask, like, okay, what's missing? Because everything should be perfect if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that's really all we need to be doing. So there's that. I didn't tell you guys we were going to do this, but we did this in the masterclass last week, and I think this is really, really helpful. We're going to do an assessment. We're going to do a self-assessment. You guys can either type your answers in the chat, but really think about this. We did it in the masterclass last week, and it was great because everybody was like, okay, these are the things that we need to be focusing on, and you can actually take a look at when God talks about what 100% is. What does this 100% look like? So we're going to break down most of these points. And when we're talking about these, really try to rate, if you're going to rate 1 to 10 or however you want to do it, what's your percentage of proficiency in these critical areas? This is the work that God's talking about. It's not tarot cards. It's not, a lot of the stuff that's going on in the community. We don't even care about that shit because it really doesn't matter. These are the things that when God says, I need you to be doing the work and mastering these things, these are the critical areas right here. So let's go through them. You guys ready for this? It's like, oh God, work. Just kidding. Hold on. Chrissy, really quick. She's saying, when I doubt, he reminds me of how he saved me from a fire in 2011. We have the most crazy, miraculous things that twins have been through that, I don't know how I survived that, but I did. Part of being protected is God protecting us. But as you're going to see in these critical areas that we're going to bring up, part of us is that it's our responsibility at a certain extent too. But yeah, we're supposed to be protected. But that being said, okay, here's one area. How well do you truly understand the journey map? Divine timing. Do you really know what divine timing is? It's not when God wants to drop your twin in your lap. And how deeply do you understand where twins are on the journey timeline? If you think that God is going to bring your twin to you with a big bow on their head when all of a sudden it's divine timing, without you being mastered and even understanding what the work is, or even understanding where you are on the journey. That's not going to happen. Divine timing is all about spiritual warfare. It's all about the movement that we're moving into now. It is all about the abyss opening. It is all about us moving into the go sequence for the spiritual war. It's all about an energetic battle is what this is. It's a battle of energy. It's high frequency versus low frequency. We are using our abilities from a high frequency standpoint. Dark basically is unleashing all of the negative ones out onto humanity because they are not high vibing beings. And we've talked about this in all of the previous videos. Go watch the Abyss one if you don't know what I'm talking about. But the twins that are the strongest in this are completely detached. They understand that they're supposed to be in separation for a reason. They understand what that looks like. And even if they don't, they are wanting to understand it, because it's almost like if you're going to take a job, you're going to have to know what the job is, who you're working with. I mean, it's just part of it. So honestly, how well do you understand the twin journey? That's really critical. Like when I see people out in the community, and I don't know if you guys want to share, please do. Because I know you guys, we've all been out in the community, and some of you have been out there recently. But every time I'm out in the community, I'm going, literally, these people don't understand what the hell is even going on. There's a lot of, why is he ghosting me? Why isn't he talking to me? Why is she, running? How come we're not talking? Like, how come we're not, having any contact in 3D? If you understood the divine timing really is, if you understood the journey timeline, if you understood like the blueprint of the map of the journey, you would understand all of these things and you would accept it and you'd be good with it. This like shifts your entire journey, just understanding that right there. So there's that. Okay, here's another big one. To what percent are you loving and helping your twin in this and not leaving them in it? We are supposed to be helping our twin in every given moment. How you do that, we're going to talk about it in a minute, because that's its own sense of mastery. Not this bashing them, complaining about them. None of this, well, when are they going to show up? When are they going to do their part? How come I'm doing more work than him? None of this shit applies, because if you really understood the journey and how this is all panning out, you would understand that our job is to help each other. So your twin is the other part of your split soul. Okay. We are energetically connected. It is our responsibility to assist them, because like we've talked about before, if you're not helping them through the cord, they may as well be starving your twinship out. So really honestly ask yourself, to what percent are you committed in loving and helping your twin and not leaving them in it? Because this right here is a journey breaker. Just saying. How triggered do you become? All twins have some form of major trauma, it seems. There's major PTSD, CPTSD, complex PTSD, which is a real bitch. We all have wounds. We all have inner child wounds. We all have core wounds. We all have past lives. How much of this have you actually resolved? Like, do you still become triggered at stupid shit? I'm not talking about little things that are annoying. I'm talking about, does your twin still trigger you? If your twin is triggering you and you were mastered, you're like, oh, okay. He's throwing something or she's throwing something. And what is the source of this? It obviously needs to be resolved. If you're looking at it from a solution standpoint and not being triggered, then you're reaching mastery. So what's your level of emotional mastery? Are you looking at your twinship from a place of lack? Are you blaming your twin for not being there when they're not supposed to be? Are you getting triggered unnecessarily? Are you having meltdowns? Are you guilting them? Or are you in a place of 100% compassion and unconditional love for them? And hopefully everyone that you're encountering, and you're assisting and you're being helpful. A lot of times I can just tell how mastered a person is by just having the conversation with them about their twinship. I can hear certain things in the words that you're saying. But a lot of the twins that are completely mastered are some of the most patient, most sweet people you'll ever meet. Everybody in the masterclass is amazing. That's why I screen it. I don't want drama in there. We don't have drama in there. Everybody is helpful, amazing. Everybody is mastering, if they're not already. And it is just beautiful. How well are you handling detachment and separation? Are you whining? Are you blaming? Are you bashing? Are you complaining? Are you like, what's wrong with him? When's he stepping up? How come she's not here? How come she roasted me yesterday? None of that shit should be happening if you're mastered. So at what level do you honestly feel like your emotional stuff is mastered? And we're going to talk about what 100% means to God, because don't feel like you have to be 100%. Like, this isn't, nobody's asking you to be perfect. We'll talk about that at the end. Okay, how fluently are you interacting and communicating with your twin without 3D contact? Meaning, I'm not talking about signs and synchronicities. I'm not talking about 3D contact. I'm talking about on the soul level, your 5D, your telepathy. How interactive are you with them throughout the day? Are you feeling them? Are you picking up on their thoughts? Do you even know if you're picking up on them or their thoughts and what the difference is? How much have you explored that? Because part of the reason that we have these abilities, this is a gift, because if you truly have the twin connection, you should be able to reach your twin across the world at any given moment without 3D contact. So how much are you embracing the actual energetic and soul connection with your twin? Because if you truly are embracing it, then you don't even need 3D contact, because you're getting all the information you need and you're able to love them from 3 countries away. So what level are you at with this? Chrissy, I love this. 188% to my absolute best of my ability. And she's not lying. She tries so hard. She's 100% committed. So I would say 188 for you. Christy saying, looking for resolution and solutions. 188, compassion and unconditional love. When my human takes over, I go to God and team to get to the root of it. Yeah. That in itself is mastery. It's like, okay, I'm recognizing I'm having a really hard human moment. We all have them. We're human. Like, God's not expecting us to be perfect. But what she's saying is what mastery is. It's like, okay, something's amiss, so let me go figure it out. And then let's fix it. It's that easy. So, okay, if you can do this with your twin, are you doing it with God and team? Do you even know who your team is? We're going to talk about this hopefully Friday. Maybe another day, but we'll see how Friday goes. How fluently are you getting your guidance directly from God and team? Signs and synchronicities do not count. How fluently are you getting your guidance directly from God and team? Meaning, are you hearing them? Are you getting the knowings from them? This doesn't mean that you're going to get them like Stancy, where God sits down and writes like a whole 2 pages out for you. That's not what we're talking about. This could be one word at a time, and you explore, okay, what does that word mean? What does this apply to? What am I supposed to do with that? It's almost like breadcrumbs. You're taking breadcrumbs to go out and find your way home. You're not going to drop one breadcrumb and build a cake. You are not going to drop one breadcrumb and find your way out of a forest. You have to keep dropping the crumbs. This is like working that muscle with team, is understanding, first of all, how to validate who you're getting. And second, understanding how to actually ask them for guidance. And then number 3, deciphering the guidance that you're getting. And then number 4, validating it. It's a process, but it's not hard to learn. Every single twin can communicate one-on-one with Holy Father God. I mean, a lot of people can do it, but it's our responsibility, because that's the only way that we're going to get the true guidance. So to what percent do you rely on yours? Okay, how proficiently are you using your twin abilities to clear and protect both you and your twin in all ways? I'm not talking about using objects such as sage, crystals, candles. That does not count. If you're having to use some object that you have to go buy somewhere or grab in your house, you're not using your abilities. We don't need anything but our own abilities, like using your twin abilities only. We have a solution for every possible thing that dark can throw our way. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how aggressive. It doesn't matter if it's an Archon or if it's MK Ultra or if it's this crappy energy that they're putting through our phones, and we don't talk about what that is, but it doesn't matter what it is. We have, we touch the unified field. We literally can affect energy in any given moment. It manifests instantly for twins. So God is looking at this like, yes, I will protect you to a certain extent, but to what level are you actually trying to protect yourself? Are you learning what your abilities are? To the extent that you can keep you and your twin, no matter how far away they live or are, no matter where they go, no matter what they're doing, how proficiently are you keeping them clear and protected from everything possible? Because everybody I know in the masterclass is like, nailed this 100%. There's nothing that can get through to us. And if we do, it's because we let it in or whatever. But there's no excuse. So there's that. Our job is to keep our frequency as high as possible, because we are useless if we're not at 100%. So this isn't like take a bath and go for a walk. No. Yeah, that can help your energy. That can help you raise your vibration. It can put you in a better place. It can pull you out of a negative energy. But do you truly know how to clear every possible thing? Because as you're moving through, as you're moving through the public, you're scraping against dark energy. If you're a twin, if you're a light worker, dark's whole job is to bring your vibe down. Our whole job is to keep our vibe at 100% so that we can do what we're supposed to be here for. So it's our responsibility, not theirs. Which brings me to, how confident are you in keeping you and your twin 100% clear from dark and your vibe at optimum strength? If you're calling out to Archangel Michael for help and you don't already know how to do this yourself, it does not count, because Archangel Michael is not going to help you until you learn to do this for yourself. The only time Michael should be stepping in to help you is if you already know how to do it and you're so exhausted, or you're like, I just had surgery, or I am balls to the wall and I've worked 22 hours a day for 3 days and I haven't slept. So I'm going to do what I can, but can you fill the gap? Michael will fill the gap for you. Team will fill the gap for you if you are already doing your best. But he's not going to step in and clear shit for you if you are a twin until you've learned how to do this for yourself, because it's our job to do it. If Michael was going to clear all the dark, he wouldn't need us. It's not his job. It's ours. Chrissy's like, I'm much better at protections than clearings, if I'm being honest, but I try my darndest. Right. But you also did reach out to me today and say, hey, I got to get this clear and I need to amp this up. And I didn't get back to you yet, but I will. The thing is, you're trying. And God was because Chrissy is in our masterclass. And I remember God was basically saying to her yesterday, you need to get on this and clear it out. And what did she do? She emailed me this morning and she's like, okay, let's get on this. So that's what they're talking about. They will help you if you're helping yourself. But if you're not, they're like, well, then figure it out. We're almost done. We're getting to the end. Okay, how proficient are you at using your twin fire in these ways? First of all, twin fire is not Reiki fire. Completely different thing. Only twins have twin fire. It is our flame. It is the God spark. It is the God particle. And it's really funny because there's a particular huge thing that I'm not allowed to say out loud on YouTube, but we talked about it when the Abyss was opening. But they have Dark has put out a video that almost looks like a singing opera, and it all is about twins versus Dark, and using this big machine to open the Abyss and all this kind of stuff. And they literally did. The Dark was like singing. If you guys want me to share it, I'll put it in. I may put it in the description. I don't know if I can get away with it or not, but if not, email me and I'll send you the link to it. Anyhow, Dark actually is asking twin, are you the Higgs boson? It's a God particle. Only twins have this, but it's our job to know how to use it. And it is our greatest weapon. It is our greatest protection. It also is one of the highest vibing frequencies that exists in the universe, because it is the God spark. And it is our responsibility to know what we're supposed to do with it. We can use it to clear. The twin fire basically can kill an archon. I'm not joking. Leah actually did it a couple weeks ago again. And it's something that is such a high frequency that it cancels out or kills a lot of things that are the opposite frequency. It's almost like how Royal Rife used opposing frequency to kill cancer cells. The twin flame works the same way. But do you know how to use it? Do you know how to use it for protection? Do you know how to use it to clear? Do you know what you're supposed to do it in mission sequence? Because basically, when the abyss opens and we move into this go sequence, it is our job to be able to know how to use it. You can't just blow it. There's something to it. So how proficient are you with your own fire? Are you using it to level up your twin? Are you using it to help your twin? Are you using it within your twinship? There's so many things that we can use, but this is our greatest tool and our greatest weapon. So there's that. How proficient are you at using all your clair abilities, like the abilities everybody has, but then also using your unique twin abilities, because twins do things on a whole different level. How much have you tapped into that? Do you know how this applies to your particular mission? Do you know what type of twin you are? Are you a warrior? Are you a healer? Are you a lover? Are you a mentor? Are you a leader? What are you supposed to be using these specific abilities for? And you can have, like, for example, Leah and I were mission partners. I use fire. I'm like 100% fire. I just blast the shit out of everything. Leah's water. She uses her stuff in a completely different way. Do you even know what your twin element is? That is not always the same as your zodiac element, like your horoscope element. For example, my zodiac is earth, but my twin element is fire. I use fire. My twins he's earth, both earth. So understanding how your twin element is applying to your abilities is a whole different thing. So there's so much to this, but how much of you actually tapped in and explored that? There's like a whole world out there of stuff that you can do that is waiting for you to tap into it. It's super, super amazing to watch people learn it. Nita just got a new one like a week ago, and she was like, holy crap, I just busted out with this. Something just happened, and it was just like, it was amazing. She just did it out of nowhere. And then all the clairs, like, do you understand for you and your twin, which are going to be complementary, not the same, usually. The four main clairs, the clairaudience, which is the hearing, the clairvoyance, which is the seeing, the claircognizance, which is the knowing, and then the clairsentience, which is the feeling. So, for example, I'm going to have two primaries, like my vision and my knowings are my strongest, but my twins probably will be the opposite. His will probably be, and I'm just throwing this out there. But look at how they complement each other. His would probably be more feely. His feely would be a primary, and his hearing would be a primary if mine are seeing and knowing. But being able to explore that and being aware of it and having an awareness of how you guys both receive also helps your twinship, because then you know how to reach them better. Like, if my twin is constantly think that I'm hearing him because he hears, I'm not going to hear him. I'm getting the thought. He's throwing me the thought. He's like basically trying to get me to hear something, but I'm getting the thought and I'm not hearing it. It's different. So, but we're still receiving. So having a good awareness of that it just makes your twinship that much stronger, because then you know how you're reaching your twin. And then how much of your 3D is still controlling you or your journey? What percentage of your 3D that does not serve you have you left behind? I will tell you that a lot of the DMs and even some of the DFs that are like in the process of like leaving jobs, leaving karmics, it's a total shit show. If your twin is quiet right now, there's probably a reason for it. If your twin is going through hell right now, there's a reason for it. It does not mean if you're not at 100%, like everything is behind you. A lot of the karmics are still supposed to be there until they're not there. But a lot of twins are in the process of leaving these things behind. It is no joke. It is not fun. People are struggling with it. Your job is to help your twin have strength in it. Like, stand up for yourself. Don't put up with this. Understand your strength in this. Understand your power in this. And not only that, we're going to talk about trust next. But if they're having a hell of a time, you're feeling it, but are you actually knowing that it's your twin? Like, how connected are you to your twin? Like, are you feeling them? Do you understand that, for example, say I had a ridiculous morning Sunday and all of a sudden I'm in a really shitty mood, I'm like, okay, is that my twin or is that me? This is not my example, but it's an example of somebody else's. Anyway, what I'm saying is, how tuned in are you to what's going on in 3D without 3D contact? This is what the whole twin journey is about. Because if your twin is going through hell, if they're being pulled out of a job that is, providing a bunch of shitty energy, or they need to be moving into a purpose, and even if financially they don't feel like they're ready for it, and God's dragging them into it, basically saying, I'll take care of you, that's going to require a lot of strength. Whatever they're leaving behind that does not serve them, they're going to need strength in it. That's where you come in. So how much of your 3D are you leaving behind, or how much are you allowing yourself to be stuck in it? Do you have the strength you need to say, okay, I'm fucking done with this, I'm out of here? Are you putting stuff in place to be in a better place and a better energy? Are you moving into your path? Or how much do you trust God, team, and your twin and your journey? Because God is basically saying, if you are struggling, it's either a lesson that you need to get through, you need to master something, you need to resolve whatever it is so that it doesn't happen anymore, or he's orchestrating a change that just feels uncomfortable. Either way, anything that's going on, if you're addressing it and you're like, am I missing something? I just want to make sure everything's fine. Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing in this? If it's difficult and there's a reason for it, how much do you trust that God's going to get you through it and there's a reason for it? Every little thing is orchestrated. If you are being pulled out of something that does not serve you and you feel like it's too much, trust me, God will pull you out of it one way or another. So if you don't get out of it, God will do it himself, and that's never pretty. So trust God is pulling you out of there for a reason, that it's for your best and highest good. And do whatever you have to do to move into it with strength, because God will have your back. I'm telling you. This happened to me in July when I had this business divorce. It was 2 months worth of hell. It was nothing but drama. But I basically was like, I'm not going to stay in this another second. It doesn't serve me. I need to be done with this. It was not fun. And I'm telling you, none of them are. Leah right now, she's having an issue with some of her 3D stuff that doesn't have to do with a karmic, but it's basically like she's being tortured with a lot of responsibilities that are pretty much overload, and she's handling it beautiful because team's like, we're getting you out of here, just take a chill. And she's navigating it the best way that she can. So there's that. So if you look at all of these critical aspects, really think about it, rate yourself. Like, if you average all this out, what is your level of readiness? So when God is looking at this stuff, he's not like, you have to be perfect in this. He's basically like, are you at a place where you are moving in your life? You know how to connect with your twin. You know how to get guidance from team. You know how to validate what you're getting. You're clear and protected. You are able to swat dark away. You can swat negative energy away. If something's wrong with your twin, are you automatically going, okay, what's amiss here and how do I fix it? If it's dark, I know how to get rid of it. I know how to go clear them. I know how to heal them. If they're sick, if they've got something going on, I know how to heal them. I know how to give them strength. I know how to pump them up. I know how to send them love. I'm navigating everybody around me from a purposeful way and with compassion and unconditional love. I'm not getting triggered. I see triggers as an opportunity to solve something, to get past something, a lesson to be learned, to go deeper into my journey. I'm trusting team is putting me where I need to go. I'm trusting their guidance, and I'm literally, the word that God uses for this is pivot. Like, how quickly are you pivoting on what I give you? Like, when I give you guidance, are you pivoting? Are you just doing it? Are you sitting here spinning around in it, not trusting it? I don't know how I feel about that. Are you just taking it and moving? Are you moving into your purpose with awareness? Do you know where you're going? Do you know where you're at? So literally just sit down and think about all this stuff. What is your level of readiness? honestly. And then what could you do to fill in the gaps that you need filled? I'm going to hit the comments really quick. Oh, yeah. Chrissy's saying, I thought mine was the same as my astrological one, but it isn't. No. Nope. I'm in the process. Don't get discouraged, guys. So necessary. Yeah, Chrissy. I mean, that's really all it takes is God wants us to see us being devoted and committed to doing what we're supposed to be doing. Because I'll tell you what, when you do, you have the most beautiful, blissful path because you fall back in love with your path. You fall in love with your twinship. Everything's beautiful. Everything has a purpose. Even when, shit's kicking you in the butt or life is really, really hard, you still know that there's a reason for it and you got to get through it and you see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's almost like it's growing pains, but it's like raising a kid. It's like you see your kids struggling, but you don't say, you don't blame them. You don't knock them down for it. You go, okay, well, you're struggling because you need to learn something. And then you see how much better they become. It's like becoming the best version of you and then helping your twin do the same. It's pretty amazing. Chrissy's saying, I honestly trust God, team, and twin with everything I have wholeheartedly. That's the sweet spot right there. That really is all this journey takes. So I'm in love with it. It's amazing. Do you guys have anything I missed, or I just kind of rattled those off, but anything that you guys want to add?
One thing
Or
I'd
your own
like
input?
to add, one thing I'd like to add is just the importance of having your protections and clearings at 100%. Because right now dark is ramping up, and so any crack, any window of opportunity, they're going to jump on it. So that's really, really important to master because they're really messing everything up in whatever way that they can. And I know, for me, the energy's been really heavy the last couple days, and it's just because it's dark is relentless. So it's super, super important to just stay on top of your clearings and protections 100%, 100% of the time.
100%. Thank you, Leah, for mentioning that. Because I noticed in the last couple of days, the energy's been really, really heavy. We went in our group and I was like, woo, normally everybody's really high like a kite in there. And the other night it was like, is everybody feeling kind of heavy? You got to remember that we're moving into the go sequence, just like you were saying, Leah. When twins are getting ready to move, if you think about this as playing chess, we only get to move, one person gets to move at a time. So you've got, I'm not meaning one person, one side gets to move at a time. Dark has been making their move since quarantine. It's been 2 years of this shit. We are getting ready to make our move. We're getting ready to go into go time. If you don't think that they're standing there anticipating and trying to throw a wrench in everything that we're doing, you're kidding yourself. I have seen more dark, just a trying to bring vibration down, trying to throw. We've got even dark moving through karmics that are trying to basically screw everything up, make things difficult. We've got dark moving through people at people's work, trying to make their jobs impossible. It doesn't look like dark because it's not like a googly monster or like a demon in your face, but it literally is anything. Dark is anything that can bring your vibration down, make things difficult, make you trigger, make you doubt, make you fear, freak you out, make you feel lack. So any of that you're feeling, just get rid of it. Flip it inside out and go, I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm just going to rock on what I'm supposed to be focusing on and just endure it. Obviously, if you're having a difficult, always, go and figure out what that's about. But like you're saying, Leah, they're relentless. They're basically sitting back just what can I do to screw this up so that they are not at 100% and they can't move. We can't go into ghost space. Yeah. It's been their whole mission, Dark's whole mission the whole time, which is why our whole job is to keep our vibration up. That's a really good point, Leah.
Yeah, they're it's 100% right now. That's what's happening. Like any opportunity for them to distract you, frustrate you, get you angry, drain your energy, whatever way. The intent is for them in pretty much anything and always try to get your vibe down so then they can hit. So,
Yep. And even those that are doing their protections and clearings like vigilantly, sometimes it's like, why is your vibe down? Because when you get a little bit annoyed at something, or if something, you have a difficulty that has been brought into your life, a lot of times people get caught up in it, or they entertain it at least, and then it brings the vibe down, which opens up a crack, and then your clearings and protections aren't going to work, and then your abilities go down. The lower your vibe is, the more muted your abilities are. If you want to connect with team, connect with your twin, use your abilities at their highest potential, then your vibe needs to stay as high as possible, because the higher frequency you are, the more strong you are. This is why dark tries to bring us down, because they don't want us to be able to use our shit. They don't want us at 100%. So dark is fear, doubt, uncertainty, distrust. I don't know. It's all of these things are part of it. So Chrissy's saying, and karmics are not just romantic, so don't be fooled. Karmics are ruthless too. Karmics are not just somebody that your twin may be committed to or married to or whatever. Karmics can be family members that don't approve, people that are trying to pull you away from your path. It can be, power. It can be fame. It can be something that's trying to lure you away from your journey. It can be a group of friends. It can be distance. It's not just a person always. So when we talk about karmics, it could be, you're having difficulty with a distance. Maybe you feel like you need to be moving away or something. It could be lots of things. It could be a job. So like Leah's is definitely not a romantic involvement at all. It's something completely different that basically eats up every fucking ounce of energy that she has throughout the day, and she doesn't even get to sleep because she's got responsibilities that are overwhelming. That in itself is a karmic.
yep, 100%. My karmic is my job.
And it's been driving you into a wall.
It really is, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Is there anything else?
I will touch back on the intolerance and the impatience. When God mentioned that, sometimes it's the smallest shift in us we need to get through to get us to the next stage. It's not always the big barriers that are in the way, and sometimes that's vulnerability as well. Some of our twins are not wanting to be vulnerable and reaching out, well, whatever that is in their space. Our emotions can easily get the best of us, and sometimes in negative ways at times. Impatience, intolerance, even being vulnerable can weigh us down. So sometimes we like to be in control of everything, or we are sometimes afraid of being vulnerable with others out of fear of rejection or some other reason. But that's okay, we're human. If something feels like a test, it probably is. And you should make the effort to work through that the best way you can, as long as it has potential to bring about positive change. So, yeah.
Stancy, that's a super good point. I totally appreciate you bringing that up, because like God isn't expecting us to be perfect, but he's basically saying, are you letting this affect your energy and your twinship or not? Are you letting this affect your path or you're not? Because here's another thing too. If your twin is having doubt, if your twin is having a rough time, that's going to leak to you. And if you don't recognize the connection, if you don't recognize how your twin's energy is affecting you and not tagging it for, oh, this is my twin, then it's bringing you down. Are you reacting to it? So it's basically little things. Even the little thing of, I'm not going to let this bother me, or this is really annoying, but you know what? I'm just going to get through it because I can't afford it. My energy can't afford it. My twin can't afford it. That's another level of mastery. So sometimes it even is in just those little things of, I'm going to have patience for this. I'm not going to worry about it. It's just writing it off as it's the way it needs to be, or it's just that acceptance of it just is what it is, and then not entertaining the negativity of it. That in itself is like a sense of mastery for a lot of people. So really good point. Anything else? Yeah, Chrissy's saying, beautifully said, Stancy. Stancy is so poetic. I love it. I love when you offer input, Stancy, so thank you for that. Okay. Unless there's anything else, we are going to get rocking. Oh, if you guys, okay. So if anyone is really, really, truly like wanting to nail this stuff and want to master it, reach out to me. I'm hesitant about bringing new people into the masterclass at this point. There is one person I'm talking to today about it because she's really strong. If you guys want to, let's talk about it. I can catch you up, but I don't know if we're going to be doing a third one because we're going to be way into the go process by then. I don't know what teams got outlined for this. Also, somebody did bring up a new person that came in 2 weeks ago was talking about, oh, she thought that the masterclass was just about loving your twin. She's like, well, I didn't want to join the masterclass because I'm in a good place with my twin, but she didn't realize that all of these concepts and all of these things that we were just talking about is actually what we're learning in there. Like, and there are levels of hierarchy in the masterclass that are all locking into place and the teams are forming in there. So what we're doing this round, which is what's different than we talked about in the beginning. So if you look back at the old master course description in the video, it's kind of different because what we're doing now is we're literally day by day going through what we need to be focusing on in the moment because things are shifting so quickly and we're getting people locked into their teams. So we're basically topping off these areas where people need the mastery. It's not a lot of basic shit. It's not a lot of basic how to love your twin kind of stuff. It's what everybody needs to know to be locked and loaded and ready to rock. So I don't know if we're going to do a third one. If you guys are 100% and you want in, we will figure it out. You might have to watch some recordings to catch up on some basic stuff that's like super, super critical and not basic. These are things that even the masters from the first round are learning a lot in the second one because things are shifting and we're getting new stuff. So there's been a shit ton of new stuff the last couple of weeks, is why we haven't been on here. But if you want to, oh, thank you, Lara. Yeah, email me at either lynn@gracefulconnection.com. Leah put it up in the chat, or at info@gracefulconnection.com. And talk to me about it, but do it ASAP. And we can flesh out whether we think it's a good fit for you or not. I don't just bring anybody in here. I want everybody to be committed. I don't want people that are like, I don't really know about my journey. Well, no, then this isn't for you. If you're ready to rock it and you want to commit to it, then reach out to me because that's what we want. We really want to support and help and assist and learn and grow with those that we're supposed to be connected with this, and Strong Twins. That's what we're about. So it's not just for everyone, but if you feel like this is for you and you need to do this, then reach out to me. Let's get your ass in here. We will figure it out. We already do have 21 people in here now. I didn't realize it until I counted today. We're super full. The people from the first round, most of them are in the second round. So they're being very, very helpful. We meet every day. It's pretty damn awesome. We have some really, really strong twins in there, and I love every one of them. It's really amazing. I love this round way better than the first one. But yeah. Oh, and Leah put the memberships up. We do have too, if you guys just want to get your feet wet, join the free group. Leah put the membership link up there. You can join the free group straight from that link. Just go to the website. It's under membership page, and then just be, I want to join the free link. And it's a different social app than like Facebook. We're in our own little app. But it's free and you can get your feet wet in there, and then all of the master course group people are in there and other people. And so it's a really positive, great place to be if you guys have questions about your journey. But other than that, And Lyra put the sessions up there too. If you want one-on-one help, thank you for that, Lyra. Yeah, I can always help you in session, but super focused on dedicated twins. There's that. Thank you guys for being here. Hopefully we'll do one Friday. We'll see. I don't know what Friday's going to bring. I never do. But let's do one about discernment and who you're connecting with and how to get validations that you're connecting with team, because that's super, super important. Let's do that. Next, unless God throws something else in our lap. Thank you, Stancy, for relaying that God says that you got this morning. That was amazing. I really, really appreciate it. I love your work. Stancy, if you guys want your own God says for your journey or for you, yep, Lyra put it up. There's the link to get your own God says from Stancy. She does do these for individuals, and her accuracy is freaking phenomenal. She does them for us on mission. She's on our mission group with me, Tracy, and Leah. And she's batting at 1,000%. So if you want one of those for yourself, I recommend them highly. She gets really, really good direction. Everybody that's had one has been like, wow, this blows me away. So there's that. And I appreciate you guys being here. Sorry this was so long. I thought this was going to be quick, but I didn't realize we were going to go through the assessment. So we will see you soon. Thank you so much. Talk later.